Well, today is the first day that I am following through on something that God has asked me to do. And it's the first time that God has asked me to do this. And it's not hard to follow through. It's not hard to obey. That's not the hard part. Because when God tells you to do something and you know it's God, you know with all of you that it's God, you can have a sadness about it because you know that it's like a letting go or a walking forward. And you can feel in your soul that you know that that's the right thing for you to do for whatever it is, 707, for whatever it is that God has planned for you. But what makes it so different from all the other times is before it was always follow your heart, follow your heart, follow your heart. Just follow your heart. And now it's God and Jesus, both of them saying, follow me. You have to know your heart. You have to know what level of love you have within you, you can have within you. And you have to exercise that in order to truly be able to discern between what is God and what is else, what is fear. And I've been working on that for 4 years now. But my heart does hurt, and yet I have a level of peace. I can tell I'm going through grief. Right now I want to bargain. In grief, you jump all over the place. I'm not angry. I'm not in denial. I'm not quite at acceptance either. But I am on the verge of bargaining. And I wish I was stronger. I wish I wasn't there. But part of my whole journey has been to show myself authentically. And some people will come in with just the most obnoxious people-pleasing comfort because they can't actually meet someone at their same depth. All they want to do is pacify that person's pain. And that is really freaking unhealthy. You just want to constantly be pacifying somebody's pain instead of sitting in that pain with them, or at least just allowing them to sit in their pain and observe it. You don't have to feel somebody else's pain in order to be there with someone. But today I got to see someone's fear of what could be, of someone's fear of what if I mess up? What if I ruin it? What if I don't have the capacity? What if? I got to see that fear win out against the reality of them losing me. And the narrative that I want to put in my head, that my unhealed parts of me want to put into my head, is that I'm not worth it. And I'm not gonna lie and say that I don't believe that, because I actually do believe that I'm not worth it in this case. And I know it doesn't have much to do with my actual value as a human, but the value that they have placed on me as a part of their life, that wasn't worth it. And I think what hurts so much is that when somebody doesn't realize how much you love them, they have no idea, they can't even understand how much you love them. But you know how much you love them. You know how much energy, time, thought, feeling, action you've put behind you and that person. You know it. They may not, but that's because someone can only love you as much as they love themselves. like, I've really worked on loving myself, and I actually do really love who I am. And yeah, there's still some pieces of me that are left to heal. I get that. I get that I'm not perfectly healed. I'm not a perfect person. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with not being a perfect person. I kind of love that about myself, that I'm not a perfect person. Like, I've learned to love my imperfection. But like, someone can only love you as much as they love themselves. And like, a lot of people, this person included, is still learning how to love themselves. And honestly, with the way that they treat some people, I can see why they struggle. I can see why they struggle looking at themselves in the mirror and like loving who they are, because dang, I mean, some of it's brutal. 717. I got to see today that I was not worth it. I wasn't worth a simple 3 letters, 1 word. A word that they'd said before on the same thing 7 months ago. And then they got scared and they took it back. Fear is definitely something that can hold people back. That can control their lives, especially people who like control. Fear will control their lives, and they will think they are free, but fear controls their every move, their every feeling, their every thought, their every hesitation. They're prisoners. They're prisoners of their own fear. They fear that they can't handle something. They fear that they'll make the wrong decision. They'll fear that they'll get themselves into a bad place. They fear. And then they miss out on beautiful things. They keep other people in limbo, because some of us wait for people to give them a chance to overcome their fear, but there has to be a stopping point for that. You know, like, because then fear rules the other person's life too, as you wait for somebody, Bluebird. And I will wait for people up to a certain point. But when I start to feel like I don't matter, like my happiness doesn't matter, like my needs don't matter, like what I want for my life doesn't matter, the only thing that matters is what's going on in that person's life, I don't have time for that. Not anymore. I automatically, intuitively, instinctively care about what other people want. It's natural to me to care about the needs of others first. Not in a people-pleasing way, in a genuine care type of way. It's just who I am. And I don't say that to be a saint or to look a certain way. Like, that's just who I am at my core. If I could change that about me, I think I actually would, because it does hold me back in some ways, but I don't mind being held back in those ways, because I feel like I'm called to be that way. I feel like I'm meant to be that way. I don't feel like it damages me so much. Like, I'm not sitting here like I'm a victim of something. Like, I don't feel like I'm a victim. I just feel like I'm meant to be done waiting. Give somebody else an opportunity to be my friend, be my lover, become my family, to let somebody else have a shot, you know? Because I know the type of woman that I am. I know the type of friend that I am. I know the type of lover that I am. And I am a damn good friend. I am a phenomenal lover, a phenomenal partner. I am deep. I am caring. I am attentive. I am wise. My heart is like expansive. It's always growing. My capacity to be more understanding, more patient, more loving, it is always growing. And I gave all of that to someone for over 4 years. with constantly being pushed away. But it's not about them, because I see this repeated in friendships too. And what I've realized is that, when there's a common denominator, it means that like you have to shift. You have to be the one that grows in some way. It doesn't mean that what they're doing isn't unhealthy. It doesn't mean it all lands on you. It means that there's something that you're supposed to learn and that you're supposed to do. And what I've kicked and screamed over is letting people fully go. Because I'm like, well, what if they don't come back? And we know, let it go. And if it comes back, it's meant to be. I get it. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I know the lesson behind it. I understand. But actually putting that into practice and letting somebody go is so hard when you love them so deeply. When you know the pain that they're going to feel when you go, and they always do. They always do. Every friend that I have let go of has always felt the pain after the fact. And then they want to come back and they want to do better, but they haven't actually healed anything. So you have to actually let them go. But the scary part about that is, as humans, we often just, out of sight, out of mind, we forget about them. And they might come and go from your mind. And then that's the sad part, is that you then become like forgettable. But like my brain doesn't operate that way. I've let people go 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that I still think about multiple times a week. I still hope they're doing great. Whereas I probably rarely cross their mind anymore. Out of sight, out of mind. And I know that there's that truth, but also BS at the same time. Like, how can it be true and BS at the same time? Because it doesn't honor your feelings. That's why it's BS. But there's that truth of like, well, then they weren't meant to be in your life anyway if they can't value you, honor you, miss you, remember you, want to bring you back into their lives in a meaningful and healthy way. Then you lucked out, because now they're not taking up your space and your time when they really didn't value you. Probably because they didn't value themselves. But nonetheless, when we say those types of things, it's like bypassing. It's not actually honoring how crappy it feels to be forgotten, or to slowly drift from someone's mind. Like, I still think about my friend, we'll call him Tyler. I think that's what I called him last time. My friend Tyler, I think about him like every week. But he was one of those people that like every time we were on the phone, it was always about him. It was always about his life, about what he had going on. And I started like, after a couple of years, I started like paying attention. Like, has he asked me anything about my life? Nope. And we'll call this recent person, we'll call him Charlie. Charlie, for the last 4 years, has rarely asked me a single question about me. Some people like the way that you make them feel, but they want to give nothing to you. They do not want to reciprocate love, affection, energy, friendship, care, conversation. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. This person we'll call Eleanor. It's not that she wasn't there for me. It's that anytime something got hard for me, she was there for a moment, but then disappeared, didn't return, couldn't stay with it, would just pull back. And anytime that I would say something about it, she would spiral into shame. I was having to dig her out of her shame then. And all of my emotions were again shoved to the side. We could sit and talk about all of her stuff, and I could stick with it. And I could follow up the next day and the next day, and I could be available even when she was hiding, and still be ready to be there. And a lot of the time just was waiting for her to call, to ask for help, to ask for an ear, because that was part of her lesson, was to learn how to ask for help. But then when it came to me, nope, couldn't stick with it. I had this person that we'll call Alicia, and man, you give that person one thing of criticism and they're frosting it over, acting like they're so grateful for it. Like the most sickening sweet frosting on everything. All the spiritual language, all of the healthy language. They can say it all. And then they're flipping it. And all of a sudden, they're upset. They're spiraling. They're somehow mad at you and just throwing these energy darts at you. Like you're some villain. And I'm like, no. And then you set these boundaries with them and they don't respect them. And it's like, I don't think so, Alicia. I don't think so. And then you've got someone that I'll call Brandy and Claire. Brandy and Claire. And they just want to buy your friendship. And believe you me, I love a gift. You know, I love a gift. I don't love a gift with strings. I don't love a gift with strings. I don't want a gift with strings. No, thank you. They'll throw money at you and call it, you know, being called by God. But they always want a payment for it. Like you owe them something. Like, I'm sorry. You haven't emotionally invested into this relationship. You've only monetarily invested in this relationship, which I appreciate. And also, you cannot buy my friendship. You never have been able to buy my friendship. No one has ever been able to buy me. You cannot purchase me. I am not purchasable. You cannot, like, that right there says you don't understand me. And when you expect me to show up because you tried to pay me off, absolutely not. There's been no emotional investment. You come and go once a year. It's like you try to buy some annual membership that's not for sale. And then you show up to the club like one time. And that just tells me you don't know me, you know? You don't know me. You don't really know me. Because if you thought that that's how I operated, then you never knew me. That kind of stuff just feels gross, and it makes me never want to talk to those types of people again. And yet, I try to explain it to them, and they don't get it. Then they think that I'm ungrateful. I'm not ungrateful. I'm extremely grateful. I just can't be bought. If you're going to give a gift, give it without strings. A gift with strings is not a gift. It's a cage. And you cannot cage me. Paige does not get caged. So like, there's been this like repetitive lesson, and I've struggled with seeing the overarching higher lesson of it, and it just keeps boiling down to you have to be willing to lose it all. You have to be willing to strip yourself of all of it, all of the people, be completely and utterly alone. That's what it boils down to. You have to be willing to be totally alone. And I'm just now entering like true aloneness, where I have let go of pretty much all of my friends, all expectation of friendship. My 40th birthday was incredibly eye-opening. I was so grateful for family. I was so grateful for family. I am so grateful for family because they really turned out. Like where I could have felt completely alone, I just had family show up. And I got lots of happy birthdays. So, I mean, I'm grateful for all the messages. I mean, they all made me smile. I was grateful that people gave me, you know, a moment of their time that day. Like that's really cool. You know, there are people that don't get that at all. I am so grateful for it. I am so thankful for those people. But if you know me, you know that surface level is it. It's like thank you, and also, like what matters to me is depth, and that's what I have been looking for, is depth. It doesn't mean that, you know, surface level, HBD, balloons, emojis. Doesn't mean that doesn't matter, because like collectively seeing all of that, having hundreds of people tell me happy birthday, that's beautiful. Collective energy is beautiful, and it has a lot of power. We know that, right? That's true. And that's true in this case too. But when you've built relationships with people, like, and you know that you've put the energy in, you have put the effort in. They may not have, but you have, and you're met with surface level engagement on a milestone like your 40th birthday. It really opens your eyes on whether you want to continue those relationships, and I don't want to. I don't need to like cut them off and like tell them anything rude, but I don't need to move forward anymore with those. They had choices. They had, you know, opportunity. They had energy to put towards, you know, other things. They made that very clear. You know, it's not a thing of like someone didn't have the capacity. They did have the capacity. And also I'm not mad, you know, I'm not mad. I asked God for clarity, you know. I asked God for clarity and I got it. And when you ask for something, like, you have to remember that sometimes you're not going to like what you are shown when you ask for clarity. And that's the heartbreaking part, is then you have to work through that without anger. You can feel angry, okay? Like, you don't need to be angry at people, though. You don't need to be angry at somebody. You can be angry about a situation. You can be angry about the human race in general, about human behavior, about how undeveloped adult humans are these days. Well, not even these days. Like, we have such capacity to evolve and we don't. But like, you have to work through this without toxic anger towards people. And that is really challenging to do, to not hold absolute frustration at people for not showing up. Like, when we say something like it's their loss, it really is their loss, because like, you know who you are, like, you know the kind of person that you are, you know the type of effort. But the thing is that there's a lot of people out there that think that they give a lot of effort, and they actually don't. They think that they are a better friend, person, whatever, than they actually are. I get that a lot with people, where all of a sudden they'll go, oof, I guess I didn't realize that I'm not really the friend that I thought that I was. And I think that's part of why I come into people's lives too. And that's what makes it so painful, is because I'm teaching these people to see themselves more clearly, not in a beat up on yourself type of way, but in a way of like, hey, all those times that you were blaming this person, like, were you ever looking at your own actions towards that person, and that person? Because you're treating that person, those three people, the same way that these three people are treating you. And if you can just see the mirror that's there, you would understand. Like me, if I'm not putting effort into somebody, there is absolutely a reason that I'm not putting effort into them. And it's not because I don't like them necessarily. It's because I don't like the level of effort that they put out. Or I don't like their inability to manage their emotions. Or I don't feel safe around them because they talk and gossip about people all the time. Or I've been shown the way that they treat people that they're close to, and I don't want to be a victim of that. Or I've watched them drop somebody in an instant without any thought, any remorse, any follow-up, and I don't want that to happen to me. I have learned over this journey to closely look at how someone leaves a relationship with a lover, with a friend, with a family member. Because if they will do it to them, they will do it to you. And that is true. It will rarely change unless they go through massive transformation. So if you don't want someone to drop you, don't be around people that drop people. I generally know where I am, but I don't know where I'm going. I'm down in the land that my favorite hill looks over. I love this area. It's really beautiful. This is my therapy driving. Probably not the greatest for the environment, but this is a way that I can get myself to talk by rolling a camera and driving and having my mind focused on what's in front of me. Being in an area that, you know, energetically makes my heart happy. It's really pretty here. I don't actually know where these roads go. I've literally never been on this road before. So pretty though. I've been in this area, but I have not been on this exact road. I'm trying to figure out how to move forward now, because my heart like really hurts, and I feel spiritually I don't feel alone. Okay, like I'm not alone. I have family, but like I feel alone, and I think I'm supposed to feel that. And I'm just, I'm calling in people that want deeper, that truly want deep friendships. I'm calling in a lover that's more healed, that's ready to say yes to a life together. Someone that doesn't have to think twice about whether I'm worth it. Someone that doesn't struggle with saying, I love you. I don't struggle with saying I love you. Someone that doesn't struggle with showing I love you. I don't struggle with showing people I love them. I'm looking for a matching or close to matching vibration. I don't expect people to be the same as me. In fact, I enjoy people that are much different than me. I don't think I should have to compromise on someone being able to tell me I love you and I want to be with you. And what's sad is like, I'll never give somebody else what I gave this person. I will never give somebody 4 years to figure it out. I will never let someone explore other options, like besides me. Like I'll never do that again. Like it wasn't even for this person. It was for me. It was for me to know that I could withstand it, that I would be okay, that if that's what somebody needed, that I was able to give them that. And now I choose not to. Now I choose not to. I don't want to. I don't want to, and I'm not going to. Never again will I do what I did in this dynamic. Never again will anyone get that version of me. Never again will I be as vulnerable as I was. It doesn't mean that I won't be open and honest and fully loving. I will. 7:23. I saw Steve and Mary. I've just decided what I'm willing to give and and what I'm not. I've had my experience of being fully and completely open with someone, giving them every piece of me. Like, they know me. I shared with them every piece of me, whether they know me or not. Like, that's on them, whether they paid attention, whether they absorbed everything I had to share. I know that they didn't. I know that they didn't appreciate what I shared with them in most cases. There was plenty of things that went unread, unwatched, unlistened to, unseen. Plenty of that. So, but I still offered it, and that's the thing, is that's what God asked me to do. God asked me to offer all of me to this person, to give them the very best shot. The very best shot. And I did, and I don't regret it. And what's so odd is, like, I know that all that stuff is safe with them. I know that everything that I've shared with them, it's safe with them, because they're not vindictive. And I know that I will love them for the rest of my life, just like I've loved these other people for years, even though I know I don't want to be with those people. See, I just have to get myself to the point where I've let go enough that I don't want to be with this person anymore. And that's what I'm healing next. Because I can't move on. I can't move forward. Like, I can still walk forward, but I can't start something with somebody else until that piece is healed, until that piece is closed off, because what would I want? I want to do unto others as I would want done unto me. And even better, like, I want to do unto others what they want done to them. Both are true. And I certainly don't want someone to feel like, I have one foot in the door with somebody else. My right ear is ringing with that. Like, I don't want to do that to somebody. And I don't know how to navigate that part of my life. I really don't. Like, I don't know what to do next. I don't know how to work through that. All I know is, I guess, try to get my family and myself in order the best that I can. Try to keep working on myself in new levels, like I have been. Like, one of the sweetest things that my mom has ever done for me is reminded me, both of my moms, my mom that's my biological mom and my stepmom, they've both done really beautiful things for me now I might cry. In reminding me of, like, how old they were when they had to start over. I've been divorced for about 7 years now, and I divorced with really young kids, and it's been a struggle trying to figure out how to be a mom and a provider and myself while healing from immense trauma, like things that almost took me out in more than one way. But on my 40th birthday, and coming up to my 40th birthday, my mom was talking about this too, reminding me of where she was at my age and later, and what age she was when things finally came together. And I see the life of peace that she lives, and the life of comfort that she has. And I do wish that for myself, I look at the husband that she has and the woman that she is, and she deserves the happiness that she has. And my stepmom reminded me of how old she was when she kind of started over, as I'm trying to move through fears about grad school, even like my worthiness of going to grad school. I've been working on getting things in order to do that, and there's deadlines that are approaching, and I'm like, you know what, I might freeze. I might freeze, fight, flight, freeze. I'm still healing through trauma, and there's a chance that I might not make it this year. And I've already accepted, like, that's okay. I'll get there next year. Then I'll have all my ducks in a row for next year, you know? If it's not 2026, then it's 2027. It's okay. It'll happen. Because I know where I know where God's leading me, and I know where I want to go. And I've had to fail a lot of times to finally figure out where I want to be, where I'm meant to be. Sometimes you have to fail in order to succeed. And I haven't really failed. Like, I've had a business for 4 years now where I haven't had to work for anyone else except God. And yeah, I've been monetarily poor, but everything's been taken care of at the same time. Like, and I'm in the most uncertainty that I've ever been in before in my life. Like, this is the hardest financial year that I've probably ever had. But yet, like, I'm given gifts, opportunities. It may not be cold hard cash in my hands, but God sends angel after angel after angel. And if you're one of those angels, I welcome the support. Book an appointment with me. I have people that just will like the work that I do, like the authenticity that I share, because it moves them in their lives, because they're like, whoa, this person feels the way that I feel, and like, oh, they're struggling, and look how they're moving through this, and like, that's what my calling is to live out loud, to live in a way that teaches people that you can struggle and you can still be a good person. You can struggle and you can still have boundaries. You can hold people accountable and do so in a loving way that isn't hateful and mean. And then you can leave. You can leave with grace. When they want to fight and they want to make you into a villain, you can just step away. It's okay. You can just step away. You can hold them in your heart with love and grace and fond memories. And you can let them think what they want to think about you. And you'll be a villain in a lot of people's stories. But you hold the truth of where your heart was. Anyway. I think that's the end of my rant. That's what I'm dealing with. That's what I'm working through. Thanks for coming on this drive with me.